All right, welcome BizBoWriMo peeps. I'm here with Mary Sue Dayhill from Work Smarter Digital. She is one of our awesome strategic partners, and she is bringing to us a lot of organizational knowledge and help for managing this whole process of writing your book. Half the challenge isn't having the content, it's organizing the content and having a system for moving through the process and staying on schedule and getting the book done. And that is Mary Sue's area of expertise. So I have brought her on to talk a little bit about Trello, which is a tool that we gave you in the prep guide, and is a super duper handy tool for managing workflow, for keeping track of all the pieces you have to get done, both for writing your book and for meeting all the challenges in this contest, in this BizBoWriMo, so that you can win all the prizes. So if that's important to you, I'm obviously a very prize-oriented person, so I think that's super
well,
helpful.
and one of the prizes is a rocket book.
Yes, which is so awesome. So we might have you talk a little bit about that too. At the end, people really understand what they're competing for.
Okay.
So with that, I'm just going to turn it over to you, Mary Sue, and let you go do your thing.
All right. Well, I'm happy to be here. Meredith had reached out about partnering on the BizBoWriMo, and I'm excited to actually participate as well. But when we were talking about it, I was like, maybe you should consider using Trello to help with the whole workflow process. So I'm just going to share my screen so we could look at what she built out. So this is a perfect companion to the guide that you would have already received. And if you haven't used Trello, there's also a guide to working with workflows and Trello that Meredith has made available on the Facebook group, and you'll also be emailed, that I pulled together. Just gives you a little bit more of the basics on how to use Trello. But it's super simple. So this is what Meredith built out. There is multiple columns here. And this preparing to write section is more the, thinking through what you need to be doing and just getting ready to start writing. So Meredith, just to clarify, this one you would just, you finish it, you complete it, you don't move it into the next column. Is that right?
Right, yes.
Okay. So what she's built out is a card. That's what this is. It has a little description about what you're going to be doing, and then a checklist so you can check them off as you go through. So these next three, writing, editing, and revising, and then completed tasks, would be more of the workflow. So here's the first week challenge for all of us, and information about it, links to additional information, and then the checklist of activities that you could be completing that week. So once you've gone ahead and completed your writing, you can move it over into this editing and revising, so you know that you're done and you're ready for week 2. And then my understanding is, as part of this challenge, there will be a revising phase within the challenge, and so you'll come back to this same step and start revising, and when you're done with that, you would just move it over to completed. So you can get a really good sense of where you are in the process of the challenge, which is awesome. And hopefully these are simple enough to use. I think the biggest thing is just knowing, you can click to say that you're complete. It's giving you a due date. Again, these are linking out so you can access additional information. And these checklists, you can for yourself, sorry, not on the free one, but you could put in your own due dates on these. You will get a copy of the board, and I'll show you how to do that. So if you prefer that each of these are their own card, you can also, let's see, can you convert to a card the actual checklist item if you like things being a little bit more granular on that top level. So I wanted to show you how to create your copy of this. So you'd go to Show Menu, click on More here, and Copy Board. I'm going to call this Mary Sue's. I'm part of the BizBoWriMo team, but you can all, because you're not part of the team, you probably won't see that, but you'll be able to put it in your own Trello account. And then you can say keep cards, which you definitely want, and you want to keep the template cards. So just keep everything as she has it. So you can see now that we're in my board, it's renamed it MSD BizBoWriMo. And I can customize this a little bit to be something that maybe resonates with me. I can change the background color. So let's say purple. Oh, and here are the photos. I can actually put a photo in the background. Maybe that's a little too bright for me, but you you can see you can make it more appealing for you to use and fun for you. So I think those are all of the oh, sorry, one other thing. There is a calendar view, which if you like to work from a calendar versus from the cards, because Meredith has put in dates in there, you can see when these activities are due and you can move them around and it will actually change the due date on the item. So we're not going to do that. But you can see it change from June 1st. Let me just move it again so you can see. To now it's June 2nd. So this is another way for you to use the board that Meredith created for you so that you can, you know, keep yourself moving forward towards the goal of writing a book. So I'm going to close this view. I'll go back here. Meredith, was there anything else you wanted me to show?
No, I think that covers it. And I think the fact that people can customize it once they've copied it into their own account, they can customize it. And we built it on the free version so that it's accessible to everybody, that there's no barrier to using it. But if you're super into it, if you're really a fan of these kinds of systems and want to upgrade, then you do, you know, get those extra functionalities, which is great. And it just depends on how much of a systems person you are, I guess, for what you want to do with it. But I think even on the free version, it's going to be a very, very helpful tool.
Yes, there are so many, it's so powerful on its own that you really don't need the paid until you get to a certain point.
Exactly. So, and essentially what we did with this was we took the prep guide and then we translated into these cards, and we took the activities and made them into a checklist activity. So if you're the kind of person who uses a task management system or a to-do list, you don't have to then go yourself and translate everything into a task item. We did that for you. Just to give you one more way, we really want everyone to succeed. I want to give away as many of these grand prize packages as possible.
Yes, well, and I think, you know, we're all busy, that you want something that helps you stay organized on a challenge that you're choosing to do.
Exactly. And now it's all in one place. You don't have to go back and forth to the guide and that kind of, what's the challenge this week? What's the deadline? You know, that kind of stuff. So, and speaking of the grand prize package, let's talk about that Rocket book. So, and we actually, this is part of when you complete the challenge and you've submitted your manuscript of at least 15,000 words, you get a Rocket book, but also we have some gift certificates to the Rocket book website. So that is another, you know, so you're going to compete for those throughout the challenge as well. But so tell us about Rocket books.
Yes, so I know since we're all writers in here, that's why we're doing this challenge. The Rocket book is a reusable smart notebook. So it's almost like the last notebook you will ever need to pay for. It looks like a notebook and it has pages. Can you see it? Pages like a notebook. The paper feels like a paper. It's has a little bit more of a plastic feel to it, but very similar to paper. And then you just use a pen that you could purchase at Staples. It's a specific type of gel pen because these pages, you can wipe them off with a damp cloth and then you reuse the page. But what makes it smart is that it has an app that goes with it. So the app will scan the page, and it will actually then send that data to a predefined like Google folder. I think it also goes to OneDrive. It can go to about, I think, 11 or so different places that you want to store that content. So it makes it much easier for you to go paperless without giving up that feel of a pen and paper, which I know for me, I like writing it out. I draw arrows, I draw little diagrams. It just helps me to consume whatever information. And yeah, so as part of the package, you'll get a gift certificate to Rocketbook to purchase your own. They have various sizes. I don't have, this is like the normal notebook size. There's also an executive one, which is probably like that big. And then they have minis. So there's lots of different sizes that you can use. And it's very easy to use.
That's awesome. Yeah, that is so cool. When I discovered Rocketbook, when you turned me on to Rocketbook, I was just like, oh my God, this is so, because I've been trying to figure out how to use like a tablet or a program, and I've been using like drawing tablet apps and tablets and Chromebook and stuff to try to do that, because I do the same thing. Like I can take notes on my computer for certain things, but if I'm thinking through something new, if I'm trying to work out a program or you know, some new project, I have to write and I have to draw, like you said, diagrams. I have to draw arrows and I have to, like, you know, map out stuff. And you can't do that in Google Drive. You do a lot of things in Google Drive.
Yes. So. Well, and part of it is in the package is not only the Rocketbook, but is time with me to actually set up your paperless practice. So making sure that you have your Google Drive or your OneDrive set up so that it's most useful to you, showing you how to use the app, talking you through different ways to actually use the Rocketbook in your business or in your writing efforts. So I think it'll be super valuable. Everyone I've done it with was like, what? So
yeah, it's going to be amazing. So especially, so whether, you know, I think it's useful for someone who already thinks of themselves as fairly organized and paperless, but there's always places to improve. And if you're someone who can't wrap your head around it, but wants to get there, then it's going to be a really great tool. And the fact of the matter is, like, people, if you win the challenge, if you win BizBoWriMo and you get this grand prize package, you still are just at the beginning of the process of all the things you have to do. There's all the revisions and the finalizing, but there's the marketing and there's the coming up with your cover and, you know, what are you going to do with your book and how are you going to get out? All those pieces. So it's still all this organization, all this, all these tools that we're giving you are going to still be super important to leverage your book and get it out into the world and accomplish all the goals that you have for the book. Because writing the book is just the process to get you to the place to do all the things you're going to do with your book.
Well, when you said, so 15,000 words, is that like a standard typical book size length?
It is the average length of a nonfiction business book. So
that's like 10 blog posts.
Right. Exactly. Exactly.
To have a blog post, it's like 1,200 to 1,500 words, which means it's only 10 blogs.
Yep, that's exactly it. That's exactly it. I actually went through a bunch of Facebook groups, like business Facebook groups, and I copied and pasted a whole bunch of those long posts that people put in with all the content, right? Like that they're teaching you about what they do. I put them all in a Word document and I analyzed the average word length of all of those posts. So the average length is 265 words, which is actually a lot shorter than I expected it to be. But when you look at it like that, if you write, you can do in 60 days, if you write one a day, then you're done with your book. You've written your book. And for most people, that's what their book is about, is the same things that they're writing these long Facebook posts about. So that's part of, in the prep guide, one of the things is gathering your content. And one of the steps is go through your social media, pull all those, copy all those posts you wrote, because that's your book. You've already, most people practically.
I'm so excited.
I know. I'm glad. It's so attainable. It's so doable. It feels so overwhelming. But when you break it down like that, all of us have been working on our books since we started our companies, you know, whether it's social media posts, blog posts, trainings we're doing, emails that you send. How many of us send?
I'm reading this book.
Oh, lovely.
Right. So I can make one this long.
You can do that. That's nothing. I mean, some people may choose to make it longer. Some people, you know, and less than 15,000 is still a perfectly acceptable book. We just had to come up with a number for the contest so we don't get, you know, people writing 1,000 words versus people writing 50,000 words. That's
Right,
not fair. So, but so that's your average, you know, 15,000, boom. And that includes if you want to do expert interviews, if you do case studies. So it's not even just like you have to sit and come up with all 15,000 words on your own. There's all kinds of ways to pull that content. So,
wow.
yeah. So it's not as intimidating as people think, which is the whole point of this. So
Awesome.
awesome. All right. Well, thank you so much for joining me, for doing this tutorial with us, and also for being part of BizBo, being a participant and a strategic partner.
You're welcome.
Awesome. So, all right. So that's it for us. And there will be more of these videos coming in the next few weeks, hopefully one per week with different experts, so that you can just move right through this challenge and go straight to the grand prize. So, all right. Thanks. Bye, everybody.